If you're looking for quality designs, look no further than Bradley Shaw Designs. Bradley Shaw Designs can design anything from wraps, banners, posters, promotional items, and more. Bradley Shaw Designs is the exclusive digital graphics partner of the Renegade Monster Truck Tour and Route 2 Motorsports. If you're looking for more information, please check out www.bradleyshawdesigns.com.
This isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
Welcome to Crush This, a Monster Truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. Also want to thank Back Channel Productions, 6B Apparel, once again, Marty Garza's Monster Truck Technology book, JB Scale Graphics. You can get their graphics with Bigfoot, Bad Habit, Obsessed, Against the Grain, and other trucks for your RC solid axle needs. And also, Bradley Shaw Designs. You just recently just saw his designs and stuff like that, so it's pretty cool. Once again, Brad is in the United States. He's heading he's right now heading to the track right now. He just posted recently where he was at. He's hanging out with Zane and them, trying Dunkin' Donuts bacon and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And he's gonna be at Lincoln Speedway this Saturday, October 24th. Come out and see him and watch the Renegade show. All that's going on. Zach Garner, our host Tuesday, he is going to Wheatland, Missouri for that monster truck show too. Once again, also with 6B Apparel, our crew shirts are $100 a pop. You either get the old school logo one that's on most of the monster trucks, or the new wave like we just presented. A couple people bought that, so that's $100 a pop. Below the collar, t-shirts $20. Go ahead and take a look at that stuff. So this episode, it's pretty cool. I have a special guest, which is awesome, and he's talking for a little bit. But he is one of the teammates of the crew at Hall Brothers Racing. He drives the Rammunition monster truck, and he's going to be our guest host for today. So it's a little bit of a surprise here, and that's Mr. Kurt Kramer. How you doing, Kurt?
Hey, with Dan, big shoes to fill. Definitely Brad always does a good job with these podcasts, and he's stateside. It's nice to have the monster truck conductor stateside. He's going to go enjoy a monster truck show, and that's really cool. Again, big shoes to fill. Happy to be here. Happy to co-host. Dan's been doing these shows by himself. I said, yeah, you can't do these shows by yourself. You need a co-host. So I'm here to just try and lend a hand, and I'll let him take the lead on this, and I'm just going to chime in. I'm trying to let people, I'm somewhat unknown, I guess. I tend not to take the forefront. I just tend to just do my job and have a good time. But this is an opportunity for people to get to know me and get to know Buddy and all that. And we got a good show for you here today.
So before we go ahead and add Buddy to this group in the mainstream, we want to let people know that Kurt, if you want to let people know about a contest that you're about to be in starting this Monday.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I stumbled upon this contest on Instagram, and it's called the Dream Chopper Contest through OCC, Orange County Choppers. It's to have Paul Tuttle Sr. build you a chopper of your own design, and I've decided my design is going to be a HBR themed chopper, of course, encompassing design aspects of all 3 trucks that I drive: Raminator, Ramunition, and Hotsy. So I think that'd be really neat if I win it. It's by vote. It's not just pick your name out of the hat. So I need everybody out there in the monster truck world, if they can, to there's a link for it, and I've got that link copied. I'm going to send it over to Dan. Maybe he can put it up on the screen or something in the comments below. But please give me a vote. It'll be up on Hall Brothers Facebook page too. Coming Monday, we're going to put a post up. So yeah, I'm really excited. I've been a Chopper fan, been an American Chopper fan when it was just a pilot since the pilot episode. So this would be a dream to come true. You know, I'm not trying to get my hopes up too much, but because it's by vote, it's you, the fans, that get to vote on this. So, so yeah, I'm going to send the link over, and then please vote. You could vote once every 24 hours. So if you could stay with it and help me accumulate votes, that'd be cool.
That's awesome. Go ahead and we'll do that for you. So we're going to bring the cool guy. I know him personally. Awesome guy to be around. Fun to talk to. Fun to hang out with. I know him for a few years, and he drove the Raising Cane truck to the really one theme awesome grunt truck, Grunk, in New England over there at Foxborough, where he did most of the highlights in that video. So we're gonna bring him out, and that's Mr. Buddy Tompkins. How you doing, buddy?
How's everybody guys doing tonight?
What's going on, buddy?
Glad I could be here.
Awesome. Thank you for being on. I have that moment of awkwardness where I can't. I was hard for me going, "Hey, buddy, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, there used to be a thing when I was little. I'm like, man, how does everybody know my name? Because everybody's like, hey, buddy, or what's up, buddy? So,
yeah, it's easy until it's like, easy to get to. You know, so we do a form kind of like a timeline type base. So let's hear about it. How did you get started? You've always been a motorhead guy, and was getting in the monster trucks a little bit of an accident, or were you always been a fan of it?
You know, like you said, I've always been a motorhead. My dad did drag racing and stuff. I've always been into motorsports. Honestly, the monster truck stuff, I never even, I always thought it was cool. I always went to the local show here in Orlando, Florida, every year that was here. I never followed it, and I kind of just had small talk one night with Jaron McNeil. I ran into him, had some small talk with him. He offered me a job, and I was straight up with him. I was like, I probably couldn't do it. I'm not interested. I didn't like the feeling of being trapped inside of something. That's kind of why I always stayed with the 2-wheel stuff with motorcycles. And, that was the first night I told him. I was like, I don't think I could do it, but I just kept in contact with him. And about 6 months later that year, back in 2013, I went to a show with him. And when the show was over, I think it was actually a Manson show out in somewhere in Texas. But after the show was over, he put me in Ice Cream Man, and I went out there and made a few hits, and he was, I guess I impressed him enough, and now I'm driving our, the truck that started it all for us.
So let's go back a little bit, and we'll sorry about the fans. We'll talk about a little bit monster trucks, but I'm kind of want to get be intrigued about the racing, the motorcycle racing side, the drag racing and stuff like that. Because a lot of guys, when people think about motorcycles and stuff like that, they're assuming like motocross or, cross country and stuff like that. But you took a different route. And how did you get yourself into the drag racing portion? Because people may not know that you actually helped crew on a pro stock team for a little bit.
I did grow up doing drag racing. My dad had a 72 Nova that he did drag race a lot. And like I said, he pushed me a lot to, always better myself and, do what I thought was cool. And if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't even be in the situation I have been given these days of my life. So, he always pushed me forward. Like I said, I didn't like being trapped in a car. He wanted me to get into a dragster, and I just didn't feel comfortable at the time. And, I was always into the motorcycle scene, doing some stunt riding, a little bit stuff here and there. And my mom always said that was too dangerous. So we went back to the track. I can't ride a dirt bike to save my life. I get whiskey throttle for days. You know, I always said, you put me a thumb throttle on a dirt bike, I'll be the next Bubba Stewart. But, you know, I started doing the drag racing stuff with some Suzuki motorcycles. Like I said, my dad, he just kept pushing me, and we traveled, you know, all over the country, you know, a lot of stuff up in Georgia, and just meeting people, and just got to talking to the right people, and, you know, one thing led to the next. And I got to travel with the Pro Stock motorcycle team. Like I said, Star Racing and G Squared Motorsports. They're unfortunately not a team anymore. They started doing their own thing with, you know, when all the hard times hit. But super cool stuff. I went out to Pomona and Las Vegas and some other stuff, and did some local races promoting them as well. But once I got offered this, you know, monster truck gig, you know, I was like, man, drag racing, it's time to put that stuff aside, and I can't get away from it.
And a little hidden fact also is I have to say, which is pretty cool, you just informed me, but you got yourself a Wally. And a lot of people love to get that thing. If anyone knows that in the drag racing world, that's like the trophy. That's the, you know, trophy.
That's a real high honor.
That's what everybody gets when you see them win the race at the end of the NHRA races, wherever they are, you know, that Wally. And it was a long, hard-fought battle. I did the local points races throughout the year at our local track, Orlando Speed World, and was track champion in 2008, so which qualified me to go to a divisional race. And they take all the track champions out of the 7 divisions, or all the tracks in Division 7, and put them in one race. You know, and that was my lucky day. I came out on top in 2008 up in Atlanta Motor Speedway, and you know, got the win and got the Wally. So that was one of my that's still one of my highlights in my day of racing, and you know, I'm super thankful for it. Like I said, if it wasn't for my dad, I probably wouldn't have one. There's people that have been racing 30, 40 years and still don't have one on their wall, but you know, I got one to share, and you can't take it away from me.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is. Now, I know this is off topic and stuff like that, but I guess how do you feel about that all electric Harley Davidson bike that they just came out with?
You know, I'm not really it's cool. I think the wave of the future, the stuff's going all electric. I was at the Gator Nationals a few weeks back, and they actually had the all electric Ford Mustang there. It was pretty impressive to actually see the setup and, you know, how built all the motors were and all the electrical components. I mean, it's cool, but, you know, for any motorhead, you got to have that noise and you got to have that sound, that rumble. That's what drives you.
There's definitely something to that. I guess I don't deny your comment either that they're the wave of the future, but right now I don't think the price points for everybody, nor is it the range. You know, 150 miles is not that great on range, but I guess for the city dweller, it wouldn't be that bad. But yeah, I tend to agree with you there. I don't think right now is the right time, but it's certainly a design departure in any way with Harley. But I've got a Buell myself. I don't know what bikes do you got.
I don't have any. Actually, I still have one of my race bikes. It was my smaller Pro Comp bike. It's only got a 7-inch slick tire on it, but I have nothing for the street. I like the Buells; they're cool. I got rid of street riding just because of the crazy people down here, and a lot of people don't pay attention for them, and unfortunately, a lot of bad accidents happen. And you know, I just save that time and place for another day.
I understand that. Good point.
Yeah, especially in Florida, they don't look. They just switch lanes, and they don't care if you're there or not. I mean, it's just there was one time I was coming back from work, going to work at Feld, and one area of like the main road is like a 3-lane road. I went in the middle lane, and it was stop and go traffic. The person didn't see me and just drive right into me. Like, really? Like, you did not?
Yeah, unfortunately, we lost a family friend this week from a motorcycle accident. Somebody pulled out in front of them, and just on a back street. It happens, and it happens so fast, nobody can control it. So I just opt out. It's fun while it lasted, and I'm just not ready to live that road again.
Yeah, it's still dangerous up north here in Illinois, especially when we have the crops all up in the farmland, and people don't like somehow or some way. People don't like to stop.
Yeah.
There's a stop sign, they just ignore it.
Yeah.
But we get what you're saying. It's hard to keep yourself controlled while then you have to keep yourself controlled with others or people around you. And you're right. Yeah, you're right about that. So going back to the monster truck world. So you get your chance with JR, and so when a time comes, how what was the talk of putting you in the seat of the name truck that he created?
It kind of all fell into place at the right time. He had the Amley oil sponsorship as a product sponsor, and I didn't really know JR at the time, but he was working a deal with them, and the exterminator stuff was trying to get lined up. So obviously he didn't want to get rid of his homegrown truck that made him who he is today, the Raising Cane truck, and he was trying to find a fit for that. And here this little old kid comes walking up, and I kind of fit the role for him, and I'm thankful for the opportunity because I love that truck. It fits me well, and I hope I make him proud every time I get behind the wheel of it. He's got a couple of gray hairs since I've started driving again, but I just love what I do.
So your first year behind the wheel was around 2015, late 14, 15?
2014, me and Roy Pridgeon, we shared the seat of Ice Cream Man. I did 5 shows that year, so I don't really count it as a year of driving. JR kind of threw me to the wolves. I drove that one time in Texas when we were after the show, and then I went out in the field here at home and made a couple more hits in 2013. And when first quarter started in 2014, my first show was Raymond James Stadium, ever behind the wheel of a truck. And I was like, man, he's got some faith in me. I got some shoes to fill. And so me and Roy, we split the season that year as we were building the new Raising Cane truck. So 2015 was like my first real year in a solid behind the wheel of a truck. So
pretty much what you two guys have in common is your guys' first show was at a stadium. Yeah. Throwing in the wolves there.
Yeah. Got to give credit where credit's due. I love the arena tracks and stuff like that. I think the arena tracks is what makes a driver a better driver, because if you can make that truck work in such a small place, it's easy to go out in a stadium and bonsai it. A lot of people ask me, they're like, why don't you destroy the truck? I'm like, that's easy to do. It's hard to go out there and last 2-3 minutes in a freestyle and come back with minor damage and, put a smile on everybody's faces.
Anybody can point and hold the gas in this direction and hope for the best. And
yeah,
I don't think a lot of people understand that it takes a little more finesse and planning and knowing what move you're going to do next and how you should hit something to put on a good show, but yet bring it back in at least one piece, if not that needs minor damage,
Definitely.
I always thought that the run that you had with the Grunk truck at Foxborough, I thought that was a very technical freestyle run. Even it was kind of a mixture of both worlds. You were being technical, but you were giving the truck all its got, and the truck was just basically telling you, buddy, come on, let's do this. Let's more and more and more. And it just seemed like that truck just kept on going with you. You just seemed like you did not want to roll over. You don't want to do anything. But then again, you were still mixing it up with the technicality of that truck.
Yeah, JR, hats off to him. He's given me a great piece. And, the products that we have on our trucks, they hold up to everything. And I honestly had no idea going into that weekend who the Gronk even was. I had to get on my phone and Google him. And, they're like, you're doing this thing for Rob Gronkowski. And I'm like, who's this guy? Like, because unfortunately the Patriots aren't my team,
Yeah.
But I was like, all right. So it was just a lot of pressure with Monster Energy behind on the side of the truck. And, that guy's stadium, he's an icon in that city. And I was like, man. So I had to go out there, and JR was like, just go do you. And, everything fell into place. I just always seem to do well in Gillette, I just love going there.
Let's talk about what was that truck? I'm not too familiar with it. So what was that one-time deal, the Gronk truck?
It was something that Monster Jam had going on with Monster Energy, and for, I guess, whatever reason, they chose us to represent the body. It was dedicated to Rob Gronkowski and the Monster Energy. It was a blue F-150 body, Monster Energy themed. It looked really well. The blue pretty much matched the candy blue of our chassis. It all just fell together well. So there was a lot of pressure on that just because of all the people they could have chose and all their great drivers they could have put that body on. They chose myself. So I was like, I was anxious, nervous, excited, all together. But
was that just a one show deal?
It was in 2017.
For that body, I mean.
It was a one-time deal, yep. So
that's
not even sure where it rests at now. It's probably painted and looks like something else.
Right, with a different wrap on it, different product, and whatever it is now. But we'll go through, and it's pretty cool. You haul the truck around and you work on it, and go through all the procedures of that truck too. You also, I believe, helped build the now it's Wolf's Head, but the chassis that you had previously. We go back to 2000, the full-time year with that. It was around 2015, and you go do the kind of the last year of you're having your own schedule, not this touring series. And was there anyone that was during those shows that really helped you with the driving style, the identity that you wanted to put yourself in with that truck?
I never reached out for points for driving wise. I mean, a little bit, but not one buddy in particular stands out for me. I just did my thing, and because every truck reacts differently, every driver drives differently. So it's kind of hard to ask people questions in my perspective, to me. So I can't tell Kurt to go out there and jump something the way I would, because the way his truck lands or, accepts a jump is way different. So, I mean, I looked up to everybody. I always tried to take everybody's driving style and mix it together, try it. If it didn't work, it did. If it did, and try to keep doing that process over and over. And, I feel like I do some pretty good runs now. Like I said, I've been out of the truck for a while, but I'm getting back in it. Was that Mason City where we did that Manson show? That was kind of my here, I'm coming back, let's have some fun.
So you were driving the Raising Cane truck for a little bit, and then you took a little bit of a break. And what got you going back behind the wheel of a monster truck? Because it was the time gap between your first with Raising Cane and now currently driving the truck. You drove some pretty popular named trucks, and one truck in particular with Stone Crusher, and also put it behind the latest Bigfoot truck. How was that opportunity, and maybe how those trucks work?
It was cool. Like I said, I guess it would be 2017. Just some stuff happened, and things went on, so we had to go separate ways. We always kept in contact or whatever. But like I said, if it wasn't for JR, I would have never had those opportunities to get behind Stone Crusher truck or the Bigfoot. Get the chance to go over to Sweden and drive for Tim Mente, which was a super cool experience. But yeah, like all of them, they're great. They're great trucks. They all react differently. Like you said, every driver has a different driving style, so the shocks are all different. But every opportunity has been, I'm super thankful for them. Every truck has worked well for me. I've done well in every truck. So it's hard to say, but the Bigfoot, it was super cool just to put my name on the Bigfoot board. Great piece, great people, but I had to come back where my home was, and JR's always done me right. We've always kept in contact, and I just fit well with our brand.
That's pretty cool. And so you got back with JR, 2018, late 18?
Late of, I guess it would be late of 18, yes. And I had a deal with John Gordon. I was supposed to drive the fast metal truck for 2020 first quarter. It was one of our arrangements before I got back with JR full time. So I was going to finish out first quarter with John Gordon and then start full swing again with Raising Cane. But, unfortunately, 2020 started out pretty rough for me, filling in for JR in Tampa while our tour hadn't started yet with John Gordon. And had an unfortunate accident and had to take some time off. So I didn't get to live that life with the John Gordon and the Bad Company team, but, I appreciate them, reaching out to me and giving me the opportunity that was supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm. And then, you said, then you took a little bit break. And then, like you said, they basically got you ready to go. And what was the talks like? Were you going to be was JR going to plan on bringing back Raising Cane, or was the Ice Cream Man going to be on hold, or was he plan on putting
Raising Cane, it's not going anywhere. It's like you said, it's his truck. That's what started him in the mud, 40 years ago. I'm just kidding. But
he's watching, by the way.
Yeah. That's what our team grew up on, was that truck, Raising Cane. And, I try to live up to that name the best I can, because you can't go out there and just put on some pop and drop show with that wild name on the truck. And the truck it's clean. It's not overwhelming. It's basic, but it's nice.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Those are some of the designs I like. Simplistic, straightforward. Big. The first generation Bigfoots, blue with the name, and
yep.
Right now I'm working on a Rolling Thunder tribute RC truck, and that was simple. It's just orange with the design on it, and there's something to that. I think, especially in the here and now, I think designs have gotten kind of overcomplicated, in my opinion. It's kind of cool to do a simplistic design. Like right now, I'm working on a 77 W200. And it's pretty cool. Put a 440 in it and aluminum heads and stuff. It's pretty neat. Thank you. I call it Agent Orange, and it's going to be simple. I wanted to keep it simple because I think, too many designs are getting like wheels nowadays. I don't know. And again, people have their individual taste. But my opinion, I'm just looking for a straight, aluminum, solid wheels without holes, without too much CNC cutouts and stuff. I think, and when you do a simplistic design, I think that, it catches the eye better than some of these crazy designs, but that's just my.
We got a little bit of both on our teams. I mean, with these 3D bodies, with the Exterminator, and then, I got the privilege to debut that this year in Tampa. Star Creations, they do a heck of a job with the molds and stuff like that. And they started out with an imagination and came out with that piece along with the Wolf's Head truck. They had nothing to go off of, and they just put their minds together and gave us two beautiful pieces. But man, they're hard to fix when you break them.
Yeah, that Wolf's Head truck, man. I have to say, it was a crazy concept, and it looks really nice. 3D bodies aside. I know I was talking about the complexities of certain designs, but even that's simple in its overall paint job, but complex in its shape. And was that a hard fit to mate to one of your chassis? I was just kind of curious about that.
Star Creations, they got some crazy technology. They came out and they scanned our chassis. They put tape and little dots all over them, and they put this scanner on it, and it actually reads the dots. And you look at their computer, and it pulls the chassis up. So they have like all the dimensions and stuff like that just from their scanner. So when they start doing the mold process, they kind of fit the bodies to the chassis. So they fit really well. They're kind of built for that specific chassis. We haven't really put it on our in-house builds or anything like that, but for what it's on, it fits well.
We're not biased, but we also like the Ram truck.
Yeah.
Just kidding. And I know JR is a huge Mopar fan. We had him on early a couple months ago, and he told us about all his toys that he owns, and it's all Mopar.
Yeah.
Even told me when he told me in the interview, he said, if I had the money, all my trucks will have Hemis. So,
Yeah.
But I
He's
like
got
it.
plenty of money. He just don't like to share it.
And Well, he commented on a word that I'm not posting. So, much love. A couple of guys, Bob Trent commented too. He talked about that gray silver truck that you drove, the Cometic.
Gasket. Yeah, it was supposed to go to. I believe that one was supposed to go to SEMA in the PPG booth, and PPG didn't make a booth big enough to accept a large truck. I guess they didn't realize what they were getting. So it was a white and like a primer gray with black Cometic gaskets. That was one of my favorite colors and designs that I got to run for them because that color scheme just goes together so well. And so
it looked really
it was clean.
Clean. Yeah. And like I said, with now the white Raising Cane, you guys still have the black or the dark blue with the flame body?
That one, I think we have some remnants pieces laying around the shop. I mean, that one had a lot of better days in its past with JR rolling it over so many times, and myself, I didn't take it very easy on it. We do have the white one with the blue flames that not many people have seen. It's kind of like our special edition body that I've got the chance to run at, World Finals and the Young Gun stuff back when I got to compete in those events. But I am the only one that's got to run that specific body. So that's pretty cool.
JR wanted to know, do you like Zoomies?
Of course I do. I don't think he likes me running them, but yeah, I love them things. He finally broke down and let me make a set for the truck, and we ran them this weekend at a little pumpkin festival, and I think I cleared the wax out of a lot of people's ears.
Right on. Someone mentioned about Vegas. Let me go back here. Someone was talking about how Mike Langford was wondering about what happened to your road trip to Vegas for the World Finals in the semi.
I believe, I don't remember if that had to be 2017, I believe, when I was in the main show. I actually broke down in Gallup, New Mexico. The transmission went out in the Volvo, one of our rigs, and in the middle of nowhere. And thankfully, Kevin King came by and picked up my wife at the time, took her to the track. We were like 6.5 hours away. And then Matt Pagliarulo with Jester, he drove by, drove all the way to the track, dropped his trailer off, then bobtailed back to me.
I remember that.
Turned around, picked up my trailer, and we went back to Vegas. Oh, man, that week just started out rough. And then we got there, set the trucks up. I think we made 1 or 2 practice passes and blew the head gaskets on the motor and the truck. We had to do an engine swap, It was just a long week, and a lot of mind games were played during the race and stuff like that. And then I got a ride back. Was supposed to get a ride back to New Mexico with Steven Thompson, and we got like 15 miles down the road, and their rig had a ton of issues. So ended up getting a rental car and stayed back in New Mexico for about a week longer than I should have until our rig got fixed. It was a long journey that made a cool story.
Right on. Julie Craig mentioned about she liked the bracelet that you're wearing. Celebrating this month, October's Breast Cancer Awareness. So some love right there.
Yeah, got to represent. Know some people that have had it and survived it, and super cool stories that they get to share. And I wish nothing but the best for them.
One of my favorite people that watches my program here is Scott Bryant. He was asking, having the maid switch, does anything cross over from drag racing bikes to driving a monster truck?
I mean, that's a good one.
Making the switch, hold the throttle wide open and have fun. Yeah, like I said, I love the drag racing style tracks. Every time I get to do those, like West Lebanon and stuff like that, that's a super cool venue to go to. It's a lot of old heritage, So just to get in there and hold that pedal down and have fun, that's what I love to do.
Probably it would. I guess one thing that probably helps out is the tree. If you watch the light or you trying to get your reaction time and getting off the line,
definitely.
I'm guessing there's a little bit of trick to that for you, even behind the wheel of a monster truck.
Yeah, that's races are won or lost off the starting line, no matter where you're at. and what kind of racing you do. If you don't get to jump first, you're already behind. So you got to get the advantage when you can.
Right on, right on. So we're doing our fan portion right now. Tina Smith, Scotty says, hey, buddy, we miss seeing you. Glad you're feeling better.
Miss seeing you too, Scotty. Hopefully we'll make our way up that way and have some fun again.
What is it? All nothing?
All nothing. Yeah. Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. Another one, CJ Kelly wanted to know, well, what do you think about these monster truck simulators like the ROR and, the Beam & G? Have you seen that stuff?
I honestly haven't. I've seen a little bit of the ROR, the Richard Rod stuff. Never seen anything else of the other stuff. Never even played it. It's cool because a lot of racers, NASCAR, IndyCar, sprint car guys, if it's right, it can be realistic as can be. I mean, other than the aspects of, bouncing around and getting your brain beat off. But I think it helps a lot of these guys, with all their finesse. I haven't personally played it, but it seems to be working for the ones that can play it and have the opportunity to do it. So my hat's off to them.
Now,
a lot of people don't realize when we get in the truck, that is our practice. I mean, I think out of a 2-hour long show, we get, 8-9 minutes in the driver's seat driving. So if we don't make something work, we got to wait another day or another week and try again.
Buddy, let me ask you, you and I both haven't had the opportunity or been available to play any of the sims, but a lot of people talk to the realism. But to me, I mean, there's so many variables that go into driving an actual truck. Well, for one, a lot of these people are sitting still. Nothing's moving around. Their controls ain't constantly being moved around. I mean, I know they have to put inputs, but, I think it's a little more technical inside the truck. Wouldn't you agree or disagree?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, I have never personally played one of those, so I can't tell you how close or how far off the sensory is of one of those games, but it's definitely getting in one of these trucks is sensory overload to begin with. Just with all the vibrations and everything bouncing around and being aware of all your surroundings. It took me a long time to get used to everything and being focused on one goal, But like I said, I can't really per se how realistic they are. But the people that I know that do play them, they're one heck of drivers. So it's got to be doing something.
Right. Good, Curtis.
Well, I lost my train of thought here, guys. But I'm totally lost here. I forgot what I was going to say. So Dan, take the reins back here.
But I think another thing that I know that I always know that like the RC racing that I do sometimes and Bari and all them, it's kind of like a little bit of a testament of how the track is going to be like, because in the virtual simulating, there's a difference between you walking around the track during intermission, seeing what's going on with the track, then you get in your truck, and you're not going to be the first one, buddy. You're going to be fourth or fifth or sixth, or maybe in the late in the pack.
All depends, Yeah.
It's going to change, I mean, that bus hit or that van hit that you're going to have, saying, man, I'm going to have that popper. Well, so-and-so and whatchamacallit flipped over and landed on it and destroyed the entrance to the jump. So now your game plan is, basically out of the window. So you don't know how the truck's going to react now, because now you're thinking that truck's not going to pop the way I'm thinking it's going to pop. And then, so that's another thing that's kind of, different is also how the track is. And like you said, also if you got some good air and the truck's going to react like the bounce, you're going to try to figure out where your surroundings to get your next hit. Cause I have heard from a lot of drivers. Normally your game plan is the first or second hit. And the rest of it is we're just going for it. So, I mean,
so you try to plan your whole freestyle run. As soon as it gets off kilter, your whole run is screwed, and you'll be screwed up the rest of the evening. And so I try to plan at least my first hit, maybe my second, but wherever the truck lands and goes, I'm just going that direction and hope for the best.
Right on.
You have to react. You have to come up with things on the fly, and that's some of the things I don't think people quite understand about driving a truck. Is you might have this perfect plan worked out up here, but depending on how you land, and you have to have a good flow. I think that's the hardest part about freestyles is getting into a good flow to where you don't have to back up, you don't have to re-square up on stuff. You can just go from hit to hit to hit and put on a good show. Hit things and figure out the right amount. You don't want to lame duck it and hit stuff a little slower than you should have, and then you don't want to bonsai everything. You have to figure that out on the fly. And I think that's a little more trickier than a lot of these people. Oh man, if I got in that thing, I just tear her up, man. So I guess that's my question. How do you answer that to people that, oh man, if I was driving that thing, I just hold her to the wood and see what happens?
Yeah, that's everybody's first saying. Man, I would drive the crap out of that thing. Yeah, I would too. But then you got to fix it and put it back in the trailer and do it all over again. And that's the easy part. I mean, anybody can go out there and bonsai one and destroy it, like we talked earlier. I mean, to be technical, I like to throw varieties in. Some sky wheelies, some poppers, and stuff like that. Not everything's about big air and stuff like that, but I'm having fun with it. Every time I get in the truck, I'll try to do different things, whether it works out or not. You don't learn until you try.
So we're going to have a little bit of a break here. And Brad, the other co-host, is in Pennsylvania. He wanted to pop up and say hi. So we're going to see what's going on in Brad's world and go from there. Hey, Brad, what's up?
How's it going, guys? How's everybody doing?
What's going on, Brad?
I just got to the hotel here in Hanover, Pennsylvania, about 15 minutes away from Abbottstown, where the Lincoln Speedway is. So it's been a long couple travel days, but enjoying every single moment being here, man.
That's awesome. How's America treating you,
dude? If you guys saw the videos that Zane put on my Facebook of me having Dunkin' Donuts snack bacon, that stuff is legit. So it's pretty awesome. We actually didn't get to meet Rick or Ryan Dishroom, but we went up to the metal shop and I got to check out Corey Snyder's new chassis there, and that thing's bad to the bone, man. That thing's going to be a force to be reckoned with. What it's done, like the amount of detail that I saw in that thing was just insane.
Right on.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
Kurt here. Yeah. Hey, I saw your post here recently on Facebook about the Bad Boy Bigfoot design and how that was one of your first forays into designing a truck. I actually entered that same contest all the way back when. So, and knowing that you were the one that won that, I just have to say, you know what? There's a reason you won that. And your designs are pretty cool. So I got to hats off to you.
Thank you, Kurt. And it's kind of interesting. I want to quickly share this. It's interesting the timing of this trip, kind of around 10 years ago, winning that contest, and who knew 10 years later I'd be hanging out with the Ratu Motorsports gang and riding to the show in Zane's new Mac Anthem, and it's kind of surreal. I'd like pinch myself. Like me and Mark Albert pulled into their yard last night, and when I saw the trailer that I designed, I almost cried, like legit, because not a lot of people know this. I've never seen any of my designs in person.
Well, except for that crew shirt.
Yeah, except for the crew shirt. But like, this is just next level stuff, guys. Like, I'm just excited for the opportunity. This is insane.
When it's on a whole trailer, that's got to be cool.
Yeah,
that's definitely.
So. But I do have to go. Zane's calling a team meeting here in a little bit, so I got to get ready for that and possibly go out to eat, guys. So if you're on the podcast page this weekend, I'm uploading videos of the travel and what I'm doing with the events. I got to drive the skid steer. Who knows what I'll be able to drive with this trip. You never know. Everybody will stay tuned. I might be doing a live video if I have Wi-Fi there. I got to be careful with my data being from Canada. But hopefully you guys are doing good. And like I always try to say with the podcast, make sure you check up with your friends and family. Mental health is a very important thing right now with COVID-19. Make sure everybody is safe and sound, and check up on your friends and family, guys. But I will catch y'all later. You'll hear from me tomorrow, and I'll be posting some videos of the track build. So catch you later, guys.
Have a good one. That's pretty cool. Little update for him. So right now, Donuts has convinced him. But one thing I wanted to talk about is you got back behind the wheel for West Plains, Missouri. That was kind of the show that you're doing, and it was a really good test because you're on a Brian Manson track.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind? Because now your confidence level. I mean, I don't know what was your confidence level like, but it must have maybe went down a little bit peg because of what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Get that back up. So how was your mental game before you entered that show?
I was nervous as can be, honestly I was. And we went out there and made a couple small hits just to feel out the truck and the two-wheel competition, and came down a drag racing style racetrack, and I qualified. It was kind of took it easy, and nothing really bothered me at all. And then, first round, I think it was first round or second round, we lined up against the famous Bigfoot truck, and I was like, well, here's my shot. It's either now or never. So we let that old Raising Cane sing. Came up a little short to that big Ford Power, but it was fun. I still am skeptical when I do freestyles, because I just want to jump big because the truck likes it. Like I said, I never thought before ever about being hurt in a truck just because the safety is crazy, and super safe. But unfortunately, accidents do happen and things go wrong. I still think about it today when I, even the smaller shows, I'm super nervous. It starts to go away as you're driving, but it's always in the back of my mind. I don't know how long it'll be there. It's going to be one of those things because I've never broken a bone in my body until that weekend, and I guess that was a way to start out.
Well, my thoughts are with you. I've seen the video of that, and I'm glad you were able to put that aside, get back on the horse, and ride, as they say. I didn't have nearly anything that bad this first quarter. I did fall backwards off the pod once, and I don't ever want to do that again. I was just trying to do a wheelie across it, and I think the dirt gave way, and I ran out of forward momentum to land me on top of the pod, and the wheelie bar caught and dug in, and I fell backwards off the top. And that was a wake-up call. That was certainly a little bit of a stinger there, but yeah. I can somewhat relate, not in drastics, but I can somewhat relate to, and then, take some confidence to go and hit that same obstacle again, because you don't want to tear up the truck and you don't want to feel that again. So,
yeah. Like I said, that's your practice is like my practice when you're doing the show. I mean, so it didn't work out for you the first time, but the second time, I'm sure you did something different and hopefully you had a better outcome. And, that's how we learn. I mean, doing the show is our lesson.
It's that time soon, or whenever everything gets back in normal, there's going to be a time, buddy, that you're going to be at a stadium show again because, you and your truck is a good all-around truck, stadium, arenas, county fairs, you name it, you're going to be a top-level performer. So when that bridge comes, I guess you got to cross it. And that's one thing I know that's probably on your mind.
Yeah, it is, and, at least I'm not being thrown to the wolves and going right back to a stadium show my first time back in the truck. But I was ready to get back in. When Joey Sylvester did the Outlaw Drags thing, he asked me to do it, and I was cleared to do it, but I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready for myself, but a couple months later, I decided, it's time to get back in the truck. I can't keep putting it off. Overcame the fear, and like I said, I'm back at it and not looking back. I could keep moving forward, that's for sure.
Yeah, JR said, Buddy is a true racer.
Yeah. I think he cringes every time I get in the truck and it's my turn to go because, I got one mission, and that's just to have fun. And, I try not to break things, but it happens. It's motorsports. It's a monster truck. It's going to happen. I try to pride myself on not rolling over and stuff like that and doing good shows. But everybody has their time, you know. I think one of my times last year, I'd filled in for one of Jimmy Cretan's guys, and I rolled 6 times in one weekend. I felt like a rookie. It was my worst weekend ever. You know, I was ready to be done and get out of there. But you win some, you lose some.
So now, since you moved kind of in the, I guess you could say the veteran portion of the team, I guess, have you been helping out with the rest of the team with pointers and stuff like that? Or, you know, like, for instance, Kristen's truck is kind of, like you said before we got on the air, that was your old truck. And then you're in the truck that's exactly identical to hers. So is basically the setup of both trucks kind of the same? So is that a little bit easier feedback and give to her? Or
yeah, I mean, it is. There's still a lot of differences. Like she's got the new bigger 3-inch accumulator shocks, stuff like that. Top and bottoms. I mean, there's just minor differences, but like I said, everybody's driving style is different, so I kind of give them the best pointers that I can. The truck I'm in right now, the harder you drive it, the better it lands for me. Well, so I'm okay with that. You know, and but I give pointers when they ask me. Like Jack, he's come a long ways over his couple years of driving, and you know that chassis there is completely built from the ground up in house in our shop with Ricky Chandler and RFC Fabrications putting his mind together and putting all that stuff together. I hadn't come in at the last portion of building that truck, assembling it. The only one I don't have my hands on putting any work into is the actual exterminator truck we have on our team. Every other truck I've helped build, you know. So the
Exterminator and Torque, those are 2 brand new trucks, right?
The exterminator truck was rebuilt, I think, last year when I wasn't working with JR, 2018, 2019. They redid that truck there. The body was brand new to this year. We debuted that in Tampa, the whole 3D concept. But the Torque truck, that is a completely brand new truck. Everything pretty much metal on it is fabricated in our shop, from the housings to the chassis. I mean, everything we did in-house. So it's super cool to go out there and see that thing perform and, you know, hold up to Jack's beatings that he gives it every weekend on the Triple Threat Tour when he was doing that stuff. So it's cool to see, you know, products out there on the doing things.
So let's talk about the products because you with JR are representing 2 great sponsors with NAMI Oil and FTI converters and transmissions. How have they been to you guys? It seems like they have treated you guys 100% awesome.
Oh, they are. You know, FTI transmissions and converters, they'll treat anybody like their family. You know, Greg Samuels, his customer service is, you know, above and beyond. He'll go out of his way to make sure everything is 100%. You know, if you send something back to them, if it's their fault, if it's their product's fault, you know, he's going to stand behind it, fix it, give it back to you, you know, and make the best of it for you. As the Amway Oil people, they've been great as well. You know, family-owned, operated oil business still to this day. They've been great to us, along as the Wolf's Head people. You know, unfortunately, with 2020 and everything craziness going on, some stuff's happened, and we've kind of lost some sponsorships, but we're going to continue doing what we do best and putting on shows for these fans. And hopefully 21 changes around and they come back on board. But right now we're going to make the best of it and have fun.
Right on. You know, it's always, you know, just right now we're all in tough times. This 2020, or let me rephrase this, 2020, been shaken up for a lot of people. And, it's, just got to keep on keeping on, right?
Can't complain about it because everybody's going through it. So, you know, all our stories are the same, but different in many ways. But, you know, we've all had to struggle this year one way, shape, or form.
Kristen said here, that's not Kristen. Here we go. She said she loves watching you drive. She learns a lot watching you drive. So that's, I guess, another teaching point right there.
Yeah, you know, she's come a long ways too. She kind of got thrown to the wolves as well when she had to jump in the seat of our truck of Raising Cane, and she had the privilege to drive that at a few shows. She does a good job representing the Wolf's Head truck. She can go out there and surprise you. I kind of she got me there at that Missouri show. I keep forgetting where we were at. Remind me again there, Cheech. The Manson West Plains, yeah. I went out there and I was like, I'd kind of take it easy this round. And, she snuck one by me and got the win. I told her never again. I said, not gonna give it too easy on her next time we line up next to each other, because she's a heck of a racer, heck of a driver. She'll wrench right there with the best of us, and she don't mind getting dirty.
I don't know if this is a spot-on question, but Levi, he was with you last weekend at that Pumpkin Festival show. He was asking, hey, buddy, good to see you over the weekend. What's been your favorite truck to drive over your career? That's a catch-22. That's not
fair. I mean, they've all been great trucks. I mean, I don't really have a favorite. I mean, Raising Cane fits me the best, I think. The Bigfoot piece was, top notch. That thing landed like a bag of marshmallows. I just wanted to drive that thing as hard as I could. Unfortunately, I never had a great opportunity to get on a big track and let that thing unleash. But like I said, I'm thankful for every opportunity. And if it wasn't for JR letting me on his team and giving me the chance to do what I do, I wouldn't have had none of those opportunities to drive any truck. But I love every one of them the same. I'm thankful to be able to put my name with that name. Whether it's Raising Cane, Stone Crusher, the Pirate's Curse truck. I mean, I've driven a bunch of different ones, and they're all different. I mean, in their own ways, but nothing good, nothing bad. I'm just super glad to be a part of it all.
Because every one of those trucks have its own little story.
They do.
They're all different.
They'll teach you something new every day. As soon as you think you know them, shoot, that thing's gonna make you a liar and do something completely crazy, and you're pulling your hair out.
Well, one thing I always got stuck in my head was Dan Ronchick said this. He said, "If you think you're in control of your monster truck, get out."
Yeah.
that's what he. I always get that in my mind, because it's like you said, it will make you look dumb or make a liar out of you, because you're doing it
quick.
We have about 5 questions that we regularly have throughout the for guests and stuff like that. And one of mine I always like is, what was the coolest thing you ever crushed?
Coolest thing I ever crushed?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to do this for both of you. So we'll go with you, buddy, then we can go with Kurt.
I have realized over my years of driving, ambulances do not crush with a monster truck. Yeah, they're like I don't even know what they are, but they do not move. Campers are always been cool to go through. Especially if you're the first one to hit them, at least. After that, they're kind of just plain Jane. But here lately, I've become a fan of just broadsiding cars as hard as I can, because they just throw the truck kind of funny in the air, and it looks erratic, but it lands cool. But yeah, I don't really have something cool that I've crushed. But like I said, ambulances, they don't budge.
How about you, Kurt?
Well, I can tell you what I do like to crush are things that stay still. My second ever car crush I did was out in Montana, and the dealer had these cars that had nothing in them on a gravel lot. As they hit the car stack, they started to scatter, and it was a lot of trying to punt them back into kind of somewhat assemble the stack and go over them. But I like crushing vans. I think van stacks are cool. If you're at a show that has them, you get some pretty good air on them. But yeah, so that's definitely my favorite thing to crush. I'd like to do some pickup trucks at some point. I think would be kind of neat. That tends not to happen, but I think that'd be cool.
All right, buddy. We got some two hard-hitting questions. Then I got a few more left to sign off here. We're going to go with Mr. Brandon Culpepper Sr. His question to you, buddy, is what's your favorite pie?
My favorite pie? I'm a fat kid. I don't know. I like to eat. Like peanut butter pie from Dysart's truck stop in Maine is pretty much off the chain. I don't know if you guys have ever been there.
No,
It's up there by Bangor, Maine racetrack that we used to do the show up there every year. A little mom and pop truck stop, freaking awesome cooking, awesome pie.
Is that
Jeremy.
the one that's got like that diner in it?
Yeah,
It's like a big restaurant. Yeah, I've been there once.
Dysart's. John Zimmer actually turned me onto that, and I think I turned JR onto that, and he had us bring him a whole pie back one year in the semi because he had to have it. But I love sweets. I'm a fat kid, so.
If it's the right place, I think. Did it have like a green roof on top?
Green, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I know exactly. Okay, I've been there once.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, so another one, which Tuesday before Christmas, this gentleman has to drink a gallon of this stuff. So we're gonna have a bunch of people rooting him on. If he loses, he has to wear the hockey team that he doesn't like, and if he wins, I have to go find him a Metallica album that he wants to find. Metallica album to find. Are you for or against eggnog?
Eggnog? Oh,
Yeah.
I love eggnog.
Ooh,
I'm a fat kid, man. I told you. Anything sweet, I love it. Come on now.
Eggnog. It's been running on joke. Brad always talks about it, but it started with me and Christian Norman and Phil Norman being roommates when we were working for Monster Jam, and I just hated it. I always thought they were like.
I don't know about drinking a gallon of it, but geez.
Yeah, he has to drink
he's gonna.
And I did say you have to keep it in.
Go ahead. That's like 80 weight gear oil. That stuff's super thick, man.
I told him, I was like, he accepted it. He accepted the challenge because all he did was ran his mouth about his hockey team beating the Chicago Blackhawks, and nope, didn't happen. Chicago beat them. So
I don't watch many sports or keep up with hockey, but I do find it kind of funny. The most southern team in America keeps winning the Stanley Cup.
Oh yeah, the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup this year, and pretty soon, hopefully, the Rays are gonna win the World Series. They won last night, I believe, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, and then up north, you guys got old Tom Brady, Tampa Bay. So I don't know, they're starting to come something, but yes, another thing I always ask is, was there a past or present? Was there a past truck that you would love to drive?
Oh,
I don't like as a name truck. I don't really know. I do sometime in my career. I want to get my hands on a full coil spring truck. I just love the way they react and suck up things. Like Adam Anderson's Gravedigger the Legend. His truck just landed amazing, and like Mikey Votter's truck. I just love the way they work. I just feel like, I don't know, you could have a lot of fun with them, but per se a truck, I don't really have. I mean, like I said, I enjoy every truck I get to put my name beside and be a part of. I treat them all the same. They're all in the same.
We're talking about like old school truck, like a Leafer or
not really. Like I said, we talked about it earlier before all this. I never really followed the monster truck stuff. Yeah. I kind of fell into it. I can't get away from it. I love what I do. Super cool. But I mean, I love, when I was up at the Bigfoot open house, I had a lot of the old school stuff. It's cool to see where it started and where it came from and where it is now. So I love those things. It'd be cool to, drive one, but I don't think I would want to do the crazy stuff those guys still do. Man, I get my hats off to them. Holy crap.
How about your if there's a current driver that you would like to line up against? Anyone, or you like to verse anyone?
I like to verse anyone. There's so many great competitors out there in this industry with trucks. It's any man's game or woman's game nowadays. The girls can go out there and whoop up on us just like we can whoop up on them. And but I take pointers from all of them. I sit there and back and watch everybody's driving style. Cody Days, Ryan Anderson, a lot of the independent guys as well. I love running with all of them. So super cool people,
Man, that's a good answer. It's well-rounded. It's
Yeah.
just for that win. It doesn't matter who it is. Go after that win. But it was a good time talking to you, buddy.
You guys haven't. Kurt, hopefully we can see each other somewhere down the road. And I don't have true ram power, but I wouldn't mind lining up against you and making the best.
Well, I wanted to ask you one kind of monster truck related question and one not. I think Cheech knows what the other one is, but one more. The one I want to know is what's your favorite type of track? Are you a straight line guy, or do you like turning courses, or doesn't it matter?
I mean, I prefer the drag racing stuff just because I grew up the straight line tracks. That's what I grew up doing my life, racing motorcycles and drag racing with my dad. So obviously that kind of brings me back to where I came from, and I do like those, but I like those over any style of track really. But the J-hook style racing, I like them all equally, but if I had to choose, definitely the drag racing.
All right. And my last one. Are you or are you not a Mushroom Head fan? The band.
Mushroom Head fan. I'm not really sure what that is.
I'm guessing not.
I'm guessing
not.
They're a rock band up in Cleveland, Ohio.
I got you. I might have to research into them, and I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, definitely do.
Is there any
people?
Is there any social media things that people can follow you at?
I keep it pretty simple. The only thing I have is Instagram. You can follow me at Buddy Tompkins. Check me out there. I don't have Facebook or none of that stuff like that. Be sure to follow me there. Ask me any questions you want to ask me. I answer them all personally, the best I can when I have time to get back to you on them. But other than that, hopefully I'll see you guys down the road and have some fun.
There's been a couple of times I was like, man, Buddy, I'm a Facebook message him. That's your dad.
Yeah, I get that all the time, So.
That's another thing. I'm like, and I forget. And then your dad told me, he's like, all he has is Instagram. So I was like,
Yep.
Oh, I'm okay. I'm friends with him on that. That's finally I got a hold of you through Instagram because I was like, all right. But it was still funny because he's like, I get that all the time.
He does, yeah. He relays the messages to me and gets back. But he's like my little assistant, I guess. Cool.
Man, but thank you for coming on. It was really, really cool to know about you and let people know, how you've been doing since for 2020. So, man, it's hopefully we can have you back on.
Yeah, definitely. Just keep me posted, guys.
All right, cool deal.
All right.
I put the link on the Facebook and YouTube starting Monday. Vote for Kurt. I'll put that on all the stuff and go ahead and go from there. Before we go, buddy, is there any upcoming events that maybe people can catch you at?
We got a couple Florida-based shows coming up. One's in Ocala, November 21st. I'm not exactly sure what the venue is. And we have one in Okeechobee, Florida. I want to say December 5th or the 9th, whatever that weekend is right there in Okeechobee. Myself and Jack Brown with the FTI truck will be at those events. So if you guys are local in Florida, come check them out. If not, stay tuned to Instagram and our team's Facebook page, Raising Cane Monster Trucks. They try to do the best they can at putting up stats and posts and pictures and stuff like that to keep everybody informed of what's going on. So give them his follow as well.
The cool thing is, buddy, next Tuesday's guest is your teammate, Kristen. She's going to be. So, and then I will release next Thursday's group. But like I said before, thank you, buddy. It's awesome to have you on. And
Totally.
hopefully we have you on next time.
Yep. See you guys.
Have a good one. All right, that was Buddy Tompkins. Also, just want to let you guys know that the next couple of weeks, we're going to have some old school monster truck guys coming on. So that's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Like Kurt been talking about, go ahead and vote next Monday. I put the link. Kurt gave me the link. I put that on chat. This is the link right here. I hope I got it.
Yep,
Right
that's
there,
it. Just click there. There's no option to vote yet, so but if you just go right there, there'll be an option to vote starting next Monday at I don't know, it's 1 Central, 2 Eastern, something like that, and you can vote once every 24 hours. So not only vote, but if you can remember to keep voting, I'd appreciate that, and we'll see how we do. It's kind of a tournament style, so it's more than just goes past that week. That they get down to the top 15, and then they got to whittle that down to the number 1. But I just think it'll be really cool. We'll see how well we can do with the monster truck community, hopefully behind me, and so that's fun. And follow me on Instagram and that, and I'm posting a lot of stuff about my Rolling Thunder RC, which Dan is really helping me out big time with, because I know nothing of RCs, and I just wanted to do something to honor one of the old school trucks that I was a big fan of growing up. So there's that, and of course Agent Orange. Now I've turned some attention back to that, and I finally have got some of the bugs worked out of it. So gotten it on the street and gotten that 440 singing, and she moves along pretty good for a almost 40-something-year-old truck. So
I kind of know what the schedule is like, but I have to be the host here. So where can people catch Kurt Kramer at with Hall Brothers Racing Monster Truck?
Definitely on Hall Brothers Racing on our Facebook page, and then let's see, Twitter or Instagram is I think Kramerman81, and I think that's also my Twitter handle as well. But I don't do a lot of tweeting, but yeah.
Awesome. And upcoming events, I think we have one next week in Louisiana.
Beaubridge, Louisiana. Yep, that's going to be one. And then and I won't be racing at it, but we have a Granite City event a week or so after that. And then we're doing Rammunition Takes Texas. Really excited about that. It's 3 different dealers in Texas, so that'll be in November also. So excited about that, and so that's going to be a fun deal. 1 week and 3 different dealers, 2 days at each dealer. So if you're in Texas, come down and see us for sure.
Right on. Well, Kurt, I want to say thank you so much for taking your time and helping me out being a guest host for this episode, and hopefully we'll see you around a lot more.
It was an honor, and it's fun. If you ever need a guest host, you know where to call. This was cool.
I'll see you tomorrow at work.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kurt. Thank you very much.
See ya.
See ya, guys. All right, guys. I am Dan Chiche. Gosh, that was Kurt Kramer. Brad was on also. Catch him Saturday. This Saturday, October 24th, Lincoln Speedway. For the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. Alan, enjoy that. But it's going to be awesome to hang out with you. So it's going to be a good time, especially when Alan Finstermaker is in the building or at the racetrack or something in that nature. But still, it's going to be a great time, especially when we're around. So be awesome to talk about and stuff like that. And last time I actually saw you, Alan, I think was Green Bay. To be honest with you, I think that was the last one. But we got some catching up to do. And I sure miss you, bud. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put Kurt's. That's the link right there. I'll put that on the banner for next time. So we'll go ahead and do that. But guys, thank you for being on. Next Tuesday's guest, like I said, is Kristen Hope, the driver of the Wolf's Head Monster Truck for JR and Team Raising Cane. So it's going to be a pretty cool time. And thank you so much for everyone to be on. Thank you for the support. I'm driving Mark's truck with the new Bullet. I think you're right. So thank you for coming on, guys, watching. Thank you, buddy, and all of them. Like I said, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up. I'll be playing Brad's video, and then I'll be signing off here. So Once again, guys, thank you for being on. And thank you for the love and support. Once again, Crew Shirts, Crew Shirts, $100 a pop through 6B. Contact me or Brad below the collar. $20 a t-shirt. So here we go. Like I said, see you next Tuesday. Peace.
If you're looking for quality designs, look no further than Bradley Shaw Designs. Bradley Shaw Designs can design anything from wraps, banners, posters, promotional items, and more. Bradley Shaw Designs is the exclusive digital graphics partner of the Renegade Monster Truck Tour and Route 2 Motorsports. If you're looking for more information, please check out www.bradleyshawdesigns.com.